Hello and welcome to the Isle of Ancient Terrors. I messed up with that. The Isle of Ancient Terrors, Chapter 3. I actually had to delay this one quite a bit because of some events that happened. But, yeah. Let me just quickly make one little correction. This chapter is titled Beast of the Wild, and without further ado, let's get into this. I woke up. I was in a tent, but people were observing me. It was the tribe that once had me in a cage. My hoodie was back on, and I had my spear again. They noticed I was awake and backed away, speaking in their language. I sat up and looked around. It seemed like I was in their form of luxury. There was food all around, and people with many gifts. Did they like that I defeated their leader? Then I saw their leader, Tyler. Yay, we're doing this again. Toy Otato. I'm going to say this now. If I mess up, I'm going to continue from here on. So, with these types of names, just expect me to mess up. Now, to continue the chapter. Then I saw their leader, Toyotato, bowing in front of me even. I tried to get up and exit, but they stopped me, setting me back down. Then Xochimilco made it through the crowd. Toyotato got mad at her, but she explained why she did it to him in their language. Then he nodded and sat down. They think you're a god, said her. Xochimilco says to me, what? And other people assume you're a god who has come to end our tribe's war, she responds. But I'm not, I responded. I tried telling them that, she responded back. I can try getting them to release you with a distraction. I don't want to stay here, so maybe. Before anything, here, a new spear, she says. Took the spear and looked at it. Thanks, I say. I'll more likely survive now. I left my original branch spear into the air, before throwing it into the crowd around me. The people rush and fight to get it, but in the end, the child gets it and runs away with it. Watch the crowd run away, leaving their gifts behind. Toyotato and Xochimilco are the two left. They speak for a bit, and then Xochimilco looks at me. He understands you don't want to be here, and that you aren't a god. But he doesn't want the people to hate him, so he had to agree. Xochimilco says. I nod and speak. Then you devise a plan. Then someone comes in. They yell at the two. The two yell back. Then Xochimilco sighs and explains to me. That is Tisigiari. They heard me tell it all. Talk. Then Tisigiari seems even more mad. Xochimilco and Toyotato try to explain, but he won't listen. I stand up, looking like I want a fight, but then Toyotato and Xochimilco sat me down. No, don't fight. Things will only escalate, Xochimilco says. But I try to talk. Xochimilco shushes me, so I shut up. He got to mention his appearance. Tisigiari is a 5'9" male, making him 4 inches taller than Xochimilco and 2 inches shorter than me. 2 inches shorter than Toyotato. He has tanned skin, much more tan than mine. He wears a bluish cloth around his chest. He also seemed to have some woven thing around his stomach region. Can't tell exactly what it was, but it looked like it is made of some sort of fiber, maybe wood. He is wearing a loincloth and shorts as well. His hair is black, his eyes are brown. He has a necklace with what appears to be some amber or something similar to it. Overall, his face is like the face of some main character in a movie or TV show. He had no body paint, unlike the others, but enough about him. Kosijari sighs before saying something in the language I had gotten used to them speaking in. He said he'll let us go, as he probably requested freedom, which Chimiddle translates for me. Then they all talk a bit. I zone out until they call my name. It seems that they learned it as Toledo shouts it. Silver! He shouts to get my attention. Huh? I say in response, a bit confused. We've decided it will lead something here for you to chase away, in which with our hopes the tribe won't chase it too. Luchamiddle says. Alright, I responded. Then the three left the tent. I'm making mistakes. A lot of mistakes. I sat there and waited. It didn't take long before there were screams. I took the spear I had and rushed out, seeing that they followed up with the plan, but not with what I expected. They brought a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was do or die now. I yelled to grab the attention of the T.rex. It looked over to me and roared. I was not confident at all. This was a dinosaur that weighed most likely 6 metric tons, had a bite force that could crush rock, and was probably 41 feet long. I was surprised to see it didn't have feathers. But why? I didn't know, and I didn't really care. It was mid-charge towards me when I realized. So I rolled to the side, and I felt the wind blow past me simply from the T-rex. It wasn't the best move, as I almost cut myself with the tip of the spear, but I got up and stabbed the T-rex. Oh my god, hold on. I'm sorry. But I got up and stabbed the T-rex in its side, as it was focused on trying to turn towards me. It roared, but wasn't done yet, as I removed the spear from it. It tried to bite me, and nearly did, cutting a bit of my hair, most of which it got cut off, with the bits that didn't easily slid out of its mouth. I stabbed it again, because of the business giving me an advantage. I stabbed it in its jaw, and removed my spear before it could take my spear from me because of this. It roared again. I kept stabbing it until it eventually decided that staying there was not a good choice. It ran out of the walls and into the jungle. I chased it, and the tribe cared for me as I did. I continued following the trail of blood, as going the same path as it was the best option for me, but sooner than I expected, I saw it again. It stood there and roared at me, but didn't fight. I lost track. I was standing at the edge of its nest, and she had eggs that, from the look of it, were laid recently. I was regretting my choices now. I began avoiding eye contact and got low. I backed away into the jungle. I decided I needed to help her. Maybe she would help me if I helped her. That's when I got an idea. Going to skip over this part because it doesn't need to be described. It's simple and most people are hunting. Later though, I returned to the nest, only standing at the edge of it. I threw 5 dead bodies of Compsognathus that I had snaken upon to kill towards the nest, but avoided throwing them at the eggs. When I returned, the T-rex roared at me, but when I threw the corpses, she seemed to calm down and eat the corpses. She ate quickly, but didn't seem aggressive anymore. I set my spear down and approached her while avoiding eye contact and crouching. She growled a bit, but let me approach her in the end as long as I stayed away from her eggs. Seeing this as an advantage, I pulled out the arrows and spears she had stuck in her scales. She made noises from the pain, but didn't get too aggressive from this. Bleeding was minimal for a dinosaur like her, but I had gotten some leaves with sap covering one side, and I had gathered while I was gone and applied it to the wound so she'd heal easier. When I was done, I tried to go away, but she stopped me and sniffed me. And she sat down in front of me and licked me. It was disgusting, not to mention I had wounds that might get infected from fighting the velociraptors in the arena and killing the Compsognathus. I'd have to disinfect that, and I don't think one bottle of hand sanitizer would do the job, unless I was really careful with how much I used. Though it might work, as I didn't have too many injuries on my face that pierced the skin. Either way, it was as if she was saying thank you. I pet her lightly and tried to walk away again, but she picked me up and sent me back down into the nest. So I sat there as she fed on her eggs. She clearly didn't entirely approve of me, but she knew that she was the apex predator of the area, so to challenge her was to challenge Steph, and to challenge me was to challenge her. I laid down, almost laying on one of her teeth that had likely fallen out naturally. I picked her up and put it in my pocket before beginning to disinfect the wounds that actually mattered to disinfect with the hand sanitizer. I thought about what to name her as I did so. Rosie sounded like a good name to me. After which it didn't take me long to fall asleep. So I think I would go from being stranded in the middle of nowhere to potentially having tamed the king of the dinosaurs. Or the queen of the dinosaurs in this case. I just had to make one little correction, but we are done here. Now, this one, I understand has the most mistakes made, but that's because I just did not feel like trying again and again and again. So I just kind of did it in 2 attempts because my mom broadcasted to me. So, yeah. That also might be why the ambience might end up being a little whack, like not at the right points. But yeah, that was Chapter 3 of the Isle of Ancient Terrors. And I'll let you know now, introducing my favorite character, Rosie. Leave suggestions if you want to. I don't know.